offense on Saturday. Kind of what you'd heard from him or talking about, kind of what I guess was your reaction to getting that support from him?
Yeah, we had talked a few weeks ago, and we had a good talk in his office, and I feel like we're on the same page, and I think things are going well right now. I really enjoy playing for Coach Freeze. I'm excited for what the future is going to hold. I'll be planning on coming back another year. That's why I told him, and like I said, we had a good talk, and I'm excited for where we're heading.
Did you have, I guess, kind of based on that, did you consider leaving before that conversation, or was that kind of always your plan, was to be here next year?
When I got here, I just wanted to, my goal was to give myself the option at the end of the year, whether to leave or stay. And, to be honest, as the year went on and, we weren't performing at the level that, we had hoped, I was leaning towards coming back. I didn't want this to be my last year. And things, there's some things this year that weren't normal, I guess you should say. And, I think we'll get those things ironed out moving forward and, have a successful year next year.
Was there one moment in particular where you really, firmly decided on coming back?
I don't know if I can pinpoint it, but just throughout the year, that's what I kind of gathered from myself.
How tough was it, if you think back about, I guess, your own performance? You had rotating quarterbacks, you had different play callers at times, you had receivers, you're all trying to get on the same page.
Yeah.
I mean, for people that maybe don't know, how hard was it this year? You came in the summer to try to figure everything out, and with all that going on.
Yeah, like you said, there's a lot of different challenges for anybody throughout the year. And then obviously, like you said, coming in the middle of the year in the summer, not having spring ball, and then also not really having a full fall camp either because, you're splitting reps. And then, through the first few games of the season as well. So I think, towards the second half of the year, you got to get a glimpse of what, we could be. And it still wasn't perfect. We can still be a lot better than what we were. And I think that's what we're going to be next year. And, like you said, different pieces at receiver as well, guys that got here at the same time I did. Not a ton of experience in that area. And, I think we're going to clean things up a lot, and it's gonna be a lot better for all of us.
You mentioned the wide receivers. Obviously, looking at what is committed for next season, obviously it's still not a lot of experience, but it seems like there's going to be a lot more talent on this roster going forward. Is that exciting to you to kind of look at what's coming in next year for you, just as that recruiting class?
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I got to meet those guys yesterday, and they're at practice and talking with them. I feel like their head's in the right spot, and I think they're going to come in ready to work. A couple of them are going to be here in January, and the rest will get here in May. And I talked to those guys, and I think they're ready to work, and I think they're hungry. A lot of times the really talented guys are very hungry to learn and to get rolling. So, like you said, it's not much experience. Those guys, at the end of the day, no matter how great somebody is, they're still freshmen. So, they're going to have to learn, and I'm sure they will learn quickly. And, it's my job to teach them as much as I can and help them out as much as I can.
Hugh mentioned how excited he was for you to have a second year in the offense. Like you said, you got here late, a full off season.
Yep.
For you, having been in some offenses over the course of your career, how important is that to have a second year to kind of have a full off season to work in it?
Yeah, it's really important. I'm looking forward to what we're going to be doing and really diving into it with Coach and getting these details fine tuned and just me knowing it 100% and to be able to go and teach it to the receivers. Throughout this year, we had some things that were going back and forth and we're undecided on, and so for me that's always been a strength. I feel like for me is being able to coach guys out there as well, and people say try to be another coach on the field, and you only get so many hours as a coach with your players, and so if you're the quarterback and you can coach the receivers on exactly what needs to be done, that helps a lot. And I think that we'll be doing that in January right away, so that's exciting.
With a year under your belt and having the respect of the teammates now, how much do you step up the leadership role that you have on this team?
Yeah, I definitely think that it'll be a little bit different. Obviously, like you said, just spending time with the guys and going through different scenarios with them and different battles on the field. So it definitely changes. Not that I don't say it would step up. I guess it's just different. I'm going to lead in a different way and a way that I've done before. And it's always a constant effort to try to improve in every area, and that's one of them. And so. Just keeping the climb and getting everybody on the same page and really moving forward in a winning direction.
And what is your message to those recruits that you met yesterday?
Just I'm excited for them to get here, and you know, I've played with really good receivers before, and I've had success with really good receivers before. You know, 2 years ago I played with Speedy Naylor, who's playing in the NFL. Played with Payton Thorne my whole life, who's, you know, a second-round pick and has been lighting it up for the Packers this year. And I played with Payton Coleman, who is going to be a first-round draft pick this year. So I played with good receivers, and you know, they've helped me, and I feel like I've helped them as well in their journey. So. You know, just seeing those guys, seeing how they work, you know, I can tell these guys, I know what it looks like. You know, I've played with them. I know what a draft pick receiver and a high-level draft pick receiver looks like, you know, so that's one. And then also just, you know, this will be, I think, my 39th start. So, you know, there's not much I haven't seen in college football yet. And so I think I'm one of the most experienced quarterbacks in the country. And, you know, I think we got good football ahead of us still.
I guess to that point, with so much experience under your belt going into next season and not having to worry about a quarterback competition to the same extent, or at least have so much more kind of built around you, does that help you get a better sense of these young receivers, a better sense of what the offense wants to be next season with one thing?
Yeah, I would say so. You know, that's kind of how I treated them when I got here, to be honest, is that, you know, just to take charge and, you know, act like I am the guy, and that's what, you know, I had thought, and that's, you know, ended up coming to be. And so I think it helps more for the other guys that there's no questioning, you know, there's not like, oh, is this guy, you know, this, or this, and I don't know how much of that there was or not, but, you know, going into the offseason, when I say something to a receiver, he knows, hey, this is, you know, which I should probably get on the same page with this guy, you know, and so I would assume that that's what they're thinking, and, you know, same thing with me, you know, talking to them about how they run routes, what they're seeing out there, and then, you know, like I said, breaking down the fine details.
You talked about the NFL caliber receivers that you've thrown to in the past. How much does that elevate your game? You've got guys with a big catch radius or 50-50 balls that come down. What does that open up?
It opens up a lot of shots down the field, and then also just receptions. And when you get completions, no matter where they're at, that helps. You know, you'll hear people say sometimes, you know, a 0-yard completion is better than, you know, whatever else it might be. You know, just getting the ball to our guys, it builds momentum. And when you got guys that can make plays downfield, that's huge. You know, you get chunk plays, and, you know, the data shows when you get chunk plays in both the run and pass game, you know, your chance of winning go up. And you know, I feel like I've played with two of the best 50-50 ballers out there, and Jaden Reed and Payton Coleman, so I've been blessed to play with them. And you know, I think these guys coming in are going to have the opportunity to do that, and it's exciting. And just moving forward with those guys, and then, you know, the guys that are coming back as well. You know, we'll get a full off season together. And but yeah, it helps a lot, you know, and it helps your confidence to go ahead and launch one down there and know there's a good chance he's coming down with this, you know.
Was there maybe game 6 or 7 for y'all this year where the offense really clicked? I mean, y'all had it pretty good from then on out. What do you think were some of the factors? And you talked about maybe kind of wading through some stuff early in the year. What were some of the factors that led to you guys maybe having a better second half of the season this year?
I think we got a little bit more fine-tuned in the game plan and shrunk things down a little bit. We're able to get on the same page with what we're going to be running instead of having, you know, a wide open playbook, I guess, going into the game. And Coach Freeze has said we're going to shrink things down, and we did that, and that helped get guys to understand what we're going to be running in the game, you know, focus on those things, and the 2 or 3 looks you're going to see to those plays. I think that helped a lot with the receivers and myself too, and, you know, being able to know, hey, this is what we're calling most likely, and it's not, you know, 100 or so things, you know.
What are a couple of things that you want to work on? Regular season behind you, bowl practice kind of feels like you're sort of starting to already prepare for next year. Is there 1 or 2 specific things that you've had a chance to look back and go, all right, here's my focus from now till spring or even summer or whatever,
Yeah.
just for you personally, that you want to get better at?
Yeah, for me, it's just, like I said earlier, getting into the playbook, and we'll see what, you know, that is in January, and really just diving into it and knowing every single detail, like knowing the entire thing, so I can go teach these guys, you know, and that's how I was in the past, in my last place, and I was able to really communicate with those guys a lot, so that would be number 1. And then for me, technique-wise, just getting on, talking to Coach Freeze and Coach Austin about just my feet and what we're looking for in that. You know, I feel like my feet at times this year were just inconsistent, and, you know, we hadn't really nailed down what we're doing on certain things, and so really going, okay, on this down the field shot, you know, what are we looking for feet wise? You know, maybe get a little more depth here and there. And then I'll honestly watch some stuff with my dad too. My dad's helped me a lot in my career, and you know, I'm sure he'll have some things to coach me up on as well. And just get wrong with that. Technique though, can always get cleaned up even more. So we focus on that.
For this actual bowl game itself.